Read right now from Austan Goolsbee, a former top economic advisor to President Barack Obama, who joins me right now in Chicago. Austan, a good deal of the back and forth, especially on Social Security, went to who is going to protect the institution as we know it. Now, there seemed to be little discussion on the Democratic side about curtailing its growth or fearing for its growth, something that Governor Pence raised. Now, you crunch the numbers, you know entitlements. Was either side realistic to you?
Well, you know, there were a couple of things going on there that I couldn't quite understand. I mean, first, I was surprised like you. Everybody told us this was going to be boring, and these guys are the friendliest guys in the world. And when they say they came out, they were slapping each other from right from the beginning. So I was kind of stunned by that. On the Social Security point, I was puzzled because what Senator Tim Kaine said about Mike Pence's position was true. Mike Pence's privatization plan was actually even more private account oriented than George Bush's plan. But as you know, Neil, privatization would not solve the issues facing Social Security. I thought the Democrats were realistic.
I believe, Austan, their plan is to not privatize the whole thing, but to offer younger people the option of putting a percentage of their money in stocks. Now, you're right. You can argue.
Yeah, it was, but as you know, if you do that, then you...
Do you think they each should have had an obligation? I'm not taking political sides here, to say, look, the way it's going right now is not sustainable. We got to do something.
Not really, because, look, you could do either way or a combination of both. You could raise taxes and pay for the system that people expect they're going to get, or you could go change the system and cut their benefits, or you could do some combination of both. But it's not unrealistic for Tim Kaine to say, I'm not going to cut the benefits and we're going to look at the payroll tax side. That does not have to be unrealistic.
What about always finding a way? And obviously, I know the marching orders were for Senator Kaine keep mentioning Donald Trump and his failure to provide taxes. But you're a very savvy guy when it comes to finances, business, et cetera. Do you think, regardless of whether Donald Trump should release his taxes, that he should be vilified for losing $1 billion or thereabouts in 1995 when companies lose that amount of money all the time, or on the brink, or in bankruptcy, and come back many, many times? If we applied that litmus test to the auto companies, they would have never been around.
I think you're giving them too much credit. I think it's fair to criticize them. I don't know if vilify is the right word, but I think
they were being vilified tonight, right?
Hold on. There's a major question. This $1 billion loss that he reported, are those actually his losses, or did he find a way to take somebody else's losses and claim them as deductions for himself? To answer that, we would need to see the tax returns, and if that's what he did, then I think it would be perfectly justified to vilify him.
All right, I'm just saying, though, it is odd, right? I mean, if you're talking about $1 billion loss, if we applied that litmus test to companies that didn't have Donald Trump in the name, we'd have never given Steve Jobs a break when Apple lost $1 billion.
Yeah, but now hold on.
Or John Chambers a break when Cisco lost $2 billion.
No, look, Neil, I think you're stretching here. In the case of Steve Jobs, in the case of General Motors, in the case of John Chambers, each of those people recognized their own failures. They said, here is what went wrong, and I turned it around. Donald Trump has never said such a thing.
All right.
Now, Donald Trump has never said, yes, I failed.
He's vibrant today.
He's blamed everyone else.
He's vibrant today. All right.
Well.